Hello, my fellow niddly-diddly friend. How you doing?
Jesus Christ, you scared the shit out of me.
Well, it doesn't matter. Either way, have you ever thought of Googling weird things? Such as Saudi Arabian sandbarrow, or the ugliest cars on the planet Earth, or even the worst performing aircrafts in history, or even the dinosaur with 500 teeth.
What?
Well, me neither, but hey, I was recently working on the Cobra video and I had to take a look at abominations like this. And this sparked a question in my brain. What are the most ugliest helicopters in the world? What are their backgrounds, and my god, why do they even exist? Well, don't worry about it, as I already have a decent intro for it. Now, we all know the CH-47 Chinook, right? It is indeed a very normal looking helicopter. The tandem rotor is an innovative design that has been working quite nicely for the military. Well, depending on how you can describe nicely. But let me ask you a single question. Have you seen this helicopter from the rear? Yeah, when you take a look at the pictures online, you will realize that you'll see a weird face. And trust me, once you look at it, you can't unsee it either. It's like that butterfrog from the famous food dropping from the sky cartoon. Piss off! Curva. Mind you, this is quite normal when it's open. Even when it's closed, the rear ramp still looks very much off with those goddamn exhaust systems. The funny thing is, stuff gets a little bit creepy when you see troops getting in and out of the helicopter. Well, obviously from the back. Or hell, sometimes even cargo can get my rotary senses tingling. Okay, I have to be a little bit fair. Chinook, despite its comedic rear, it still has its own charm. Although I'm really having a hard time understanding the charm that this abomination is going to emit. Maniac, what do you think of this? Good. Now please, if you can, sit back and enjoy the absolute eyesore that is this helicopter. This is the H-21, a multi-purpose helicopter made by the Piasecki helicopter industries. A little short story, the Piasecki was an American helicopters designer and manufacturer that was very famous during the 1940s up until the 60s. Now you might be like, Bob, the last name feels a little bit off. Well, yeah, of course, you're right. Not to offend our dear Polish viewers, but Jesus Christ, your last names sometimes make me want to commit Sudoku.
Actually, Sudoku is a game. The one that you're talking about is seppuku.
Oh my god, these weebs again. Oh, hey, dude, look, an anime girl with a chest bigger than your average American land purchase.
Where?
Go get him, boy! Political jokes. Never gets old. Piasecki was really famous for the tandem rotor helicopter designs. One of them was accepted by the US Navy during the 1940s by the name of H-25 Retriever. Now let's be honest guys, I know it looks a little bit off, but hey, at least it's not as bad as it might have Jesus Christ, why do all these helis have to be like this? TLDR, the guys in the company lost faith in the Frank Piasecki's leadership, which of course was the founder of the company in the first place. And so he was forced out of the company and two special stockholders changed the name to Vertol. Well, hang on a minute. Isn't that supposed to be Vitol? Or, wait, is that another weird Swedish attempt at naming something special? Well, I guess naming it Ceiling Fan Industries would have been much cooler, but hey, you can rock with it all you want. It's your company and not mine. Eventually, Vertol got merged with Boeing, which we got Boeing Vertol, which later down the line they gave us the tandem rotor funny face helicopter. Yay! God, I wish history was always this simple. Anyways, Maniac, Chinook jump scare. I love traumatizing my viewers. Okay, so we all know the sky crane, right? Well, if you don't, this is the CH-54 top. Wait, let me check the pronunciation before all the Native Americans butcher me in the comment section.
Mother G.
Tarzan, there we go. Or the Sikorsky S-64 Sky Crane, a gigantic helicopter that is supposed to be carrying out a lot of heavy payload, which yes, it also includes the mother of all bombs. It kind of looks like that some alligator has decided to take a massive bite out of its belly, but we're not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is this weird son of a bitch. This is the Ka-26 Hoodlum. This weird ugly thing is so gosh darn tiny and compact it has both of its engines sticking out of the fuselage. Well, at least at the times where it even has the rear compartment. By the way, I'm gonna go off script here. You see these fancy things that, they really look like gas turbine engines? They're not. They're piston engines. However, at least according to the Russians, this thing is apparently the Swiss army knife of the helicopter industry. It can do so many things that I kind of feel like on it is a little bit unfair. Yes, at times it does look like a B-105 on a hunger strike, but at the end of the day, this is the definition of how you can prioritize function over appearance. A bit too much for my eyes. Like, I love how the naming systems for the Kamov shopping cart helicopters is like K-25, K-27, 28, which is the export of the 27, you have the 29, and then in the middle of it you have this abomination. But hey, at least you're not try-harding your mewing session on like this son of a radar placement. Like, Jesus Christ, can't you just mount it underneath like your cousin? For Christ's sakes! Speaking of unholy things, the American helicopters before the UH-1 Huey were not really pleasant to look at. Now, we already talked about the banana helicopter, but during the Cold Cold War, there were several helicopters that were in active service. One of them was the H-19. The H-19 was a very successful helicopter during the Cold War. It was also exported to many other countries such as Anime Land, that place Germans always say it shouldn't exist, America's 11th, 31st, and God forbid, 51st state, and many, many more. This was one of the first to use a nose-mounted radial engine, which eventually led up to its cousin, the H-34. This thing is basically what happens when you try to make your design based off of the incredible functionality with a little bit of a detour to your cat's fucking litter box. This thing was also one of those successful helicopters, serving in different countries, including the French, which is also available in War Thunder as well. Oh well, at least the blue color looks nice. But anyways, this thing was also weapon tested and fitted with the Colt Cannon Pod, or a bullpup missile, which I have to say it looks a little bit uncanny. Gaijin, when are you going to add the Hellcat with the AIM-7 Sparrow? Now, this thing had a piston engine. At that time, they were functional. However, with the rise of the jet engines, engineers realized that a bit of Forza Horizon engine swap wouldn't really hurt that much, innit, mate? Said the British engineer while drinking his tea biscuits while admiring his golden pocket watch while having a look at his beautiful gallery of Princess Diana. Enter the Wessex HU Mark V. The name is inappropriate enough. A British design which is also available in War Thunder. Believe it or not, this design was not really that bad either, at least on the functionality side. Appearance-wise, it looks kinda dog shit. It served and did a lot of work, and even carried out the members of the Royal British Monarchy. As the Queen of England, or well, former Queen of England always says,
Beauty is not always the solution to everything. Oi, Charles, stop wanking, you c***!
and apparently a lot of you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So feel free to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Anyways, where are we? Oh yeah. Now we have gone on a little bit of a sidetrack with the H-34. Let's get back to our old fella. So the H-19 is incredibly successful during the Korean War. It was so incredible that the Soviets took a look at that and said, Comrade Stalin, I have bad news for you. The Americans are having an incredible helicopter.
Goddamn, shorty, that thing slays, comrade. We shall make a direct Soviet response to this garbage, masterpiece of an engineering. Comrades, you have exactly 1 year to make a helicopter that is a direct response to the H-19, or else you will end up like the rest of the Soviet engineers during the World War II. You wish Gulag was your eternal home.
And so a very incredible Jesus Christ, that Stalin impression killed me. And so a very talented and incredible designer by the name of Mikhail Leontovich Mil comes to the picture. I will eventually make a video about him, but what you need to understand is that this guy is one hell of a genius when it comes to designing helicopters. However, due to the shitty leadership and the limited time frame that Stalin gave to him, he had no choice but to make a direct copy of the entire thing while trying to make it functional enough not to piss off Stalin and not shove him into Gulag. Yes, he did not believe that the piston engines are a good addition to it, especially with the entire Mi-1 and Mi-2 shebang, but let's be honest, the fact that him and his team managed to escape the wrath of that lunatic, hey, it's the only communist that I can admire, so please let me have my time. This thing was also served in different Eastern Bloc countries as well. And God, even the Chinese named it the Z5 helicopter.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Speaking of the Soviet helis, the Mi-24 is a new kid on the block. He has recently came to the world with a loud bang, but every loud bang has its own destruction and pain. As they always say, behind every successful husband, there's an ass-ripping wife kicking his ass every time he comes back from work.
Poison. You brat.
The Mi-24 helicopter might look mean and in some cases absolutely terrifying, but this wasn't really the case in the early stages of the development, as this was one of the first cockpits to be implemented with this helicopter. This canopy housed 3 people at the front and approximately 50 kilograms of lab-grown tomatoes, or 100 kilos depending on the engines. And if the crew felt a bit too hungry, well, fear not, my comrades, as you can literally throw the tomatoes at this weird European-style tail and make a tomato paste so you could consume it quite easily. Beautiful communist tomatoes. Hey, you filthy capitalist! Getting angry at the Air Force butchering the Cheyenne project? Here, have a taste of communist supremacy! Or have you ever thought of mixing the V-22 Osprey with the Sukhoi 25? Here you go. Oh, never mind. Soviet onion fill. Back into the Korean War helicopters, we also have two long-lost partners of the H-19. One of them was the CH-37 Joe Biden. This gigantic, circumcised, and heavily beaten-up prehistoric C-5 Galaxy is the predecessor to the CH-54 Sky Crane. Now, based off of the K-26 helicopter, where do you think the engines are located on this thing? Take a wild guess, Maniac.
I do not like it. It makes no goddamn sense. I do not want the engines to be above the landing gear. It stresses out the gearbox. It's dumb. It's bad. It's dumb. I don't get it. Why not just place the landing gear underneath the helicopter like a normal helicopter instead of 8 meters up in the air in these massive fat dongles with the engines stressing everything out in a dumb way? Also, did I forget to mention that it looks fucking dumb?
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, because the main carrying compartment was exactly at the center with the clam-shaped doors open for a large cargo carrying capacity. Here, have a picture of this guy just consuming an entire vehicle. There's also an early warning version of this helicopter which basically describes the word ew.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Going back to the old helicopters, the Sikorsky R5 is also a notable helicopter as well. Despite looking like an overly expensive cramped casket, it did serve the American Armed Forces quite well before being replaced by the H-19. Now let me ask you a simple question. Do you see anything off with this picture of an Mi-24? Nerds who love the Mi-24 will immediately recognize the 4-blade rotary system instead of the 5, or the 4 landing gears at the front. For those who still haven't got the gist of it, what do you see in this picture? Does the cockpit placement make you uncomfortable, or what about the tail or the belly of the helicopter? Exactly. This is not an Mi-24. This is the Sikorsky S-55, and this model is the QS-55. It was made for the sole purpose of Aggressor squadrons. Just a quick explanation, the Aggressor squadrons are basically there to act as an opposing force against the friendlies to simulate air combat for training purposes. And trust me, there are a lot of interesting camouflages and vehicles that came out of that squadron, like god damn. One of them was the drone version of the H-1S, which was made to look, and I'm not even exaggerating or just joking or anything, which was made to look like and simulate the Ka-50 Black Shark. And I have to say, for an AH-1 Cobra, it looks absolutely cursed as hell. Mind you, this is not the first time that a Huey-based platform got this unusual. An attempt was made to make a stealth helicopter based off of the UH-1 Huey. And, oh god, I don't even know what the hell is this. Now let's get back to ugly helicopters again, because stuff is getting way too pretty for my standards. Introducing the AH-64's competitors, the YH-63. But trust me, this thing does not look as bad as this prototype. Yeah, this was the project that Boeing sent to the Advanced Attack Helicopter program. Apparently, Sikorsky also sent another prototype as well, which looks suspiciously close to an AH-1G. And most importantly, the Apache itself, which looks absolutely beautiful, in the prototype stages looks a little bit off. You have the rounded nose, and of course you have much more open cockpit as well. You have the T-shaped tail, and oh god, tow missiles? Oh man, don't even get me started on the non-functional flaps that it has and worth it. God damn it. But hey, if this wasn't ugly enough for you, then let me give you some honorable mentions so you could wash your eyes afterwards. Are you ready, Maniac?
Nope.
Are you ready? You ready? You hell yeah, brother. The Hunger Strike K-29. A BL-105 having an identity crisis after seeing the Mi-4. No, adding more landing gears does not make you prettier. Your attempt at drawing a helicopter with your eyes closed. A BL-105 with way too many windows on its sides. And of course, the landing gear. Alouette 2's long-lost cousin. Trust me, I'm trying so hard not to be an Alouette 2. What in God's name am I even looking at? And finally, the Lord of all ugly helicopter. Wait, we still got 2 more?
No, please.
Shotty, damn!
Please,
We
no,
get,
no,
stay
no,
here,
let
my
me go,
boy.
please, let me go.
We're gonna stay
Please,
here
no,
for a while.
no,
Okay,
no.
XH-17 flying crane, which, of course, as you expected, it's a flying crane. Fun fact about the helicopter, the rotor blades are so big you can hear this helicopter from several miles away, although it really did not went further than prototype stages. But of course, the Soviets also had an attempt on a sky crane and made the Mi-10 helicopter. It is still quite interesting that you can squeeze an Mi-8 and add 4 landing gears to it in Photoshop and call it a new helicopter. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more than that, but don't break the fucking mood, you nerd. Oh, and if cyberpunk style projects is still your favorite subject, let's have a look at the drone QH-50-. No, not that dash. the normal dash. Piss off, you cunt. Apparently it was for anti-submarine warfare purposes, as you can literally see the torpedoes under its fuselage. Now, all of these helicopters are unpleasant to look at, but there is one single helicopter that I genuinely cannot look at with a straight face. An anti-submarine warfare helicopter built during the 50s. And in my opinion, the first place for the ugliest helicopter in the world goes to the Bell HSL. Wait, no, that's not even close. This is the worst. Okay, that's not a military helicopter. Okay, this is the worst. This is Zafar 300, armed with 2 hydropods that I don't really know where the Islamic Republic of Iran took it from, an M134 minigun, 2 M1911 pistols, or Makarov, I don't know. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, yes, including you, Maniac, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful and wonderfully ugly video. What are the ugly or interesting helicopters that you know about? Let me know in the comments section down below. For now, this is me, Bob Dixon, Come of Abdelaziz, and thank you for watching.